Hello, my name is Ben Davis. I'm from Chatteris, which is in Cambridgeshire, in the east of England. I've been a member of Flooring Models for 3 and a bit years now, and I've loved every minute of it. I think it does live up to its name as the best internet forum. The best internet forum on the internet. My main hobbies really are modelling, obviously, and I'm also a member of the Air Training Corps, or Air Cadets, and that takes up a big part of my life as well, so that's really good. Basically, I've been modelling now for, a long time, about 6 years or so. I was introduced to it as a young child, joined the Airfix club, then sort of lost interest in it, went over to cars instead of modelling. Then while clearing out the house about 6 or 7 years ago, I found some old kits which were given to me by the Airfix club, and I thought that seemed alright, I'll have another go at that. And my first kit was the old Airfix Harrier GR3, and it splurged on from there, and here we are today in this shed outside, full of lovely models to build and lots of equipment and bits and pieces. I started off mainly building aircraft, mostly World War II. I've now I still enjoy my aircraft, I still enjoy that era, but I've now sort of tried to develop it, do a little bit of World War I, a little bit more modern stuff, but especially I really enjoy armour building. Some of my builds have been on the site, and I've had very nice comments on, so thank you. But especially over the last year and a half or so, I've really got into figure building, which I really enjoy. I know some people will stay away from it, but I sort of dabbled with it, kind of enjoyed it, bought a couple more, and I've really started to hone the skills, and I really like it because they build really quickly. Same as armour, you can build one together, and you can focus on what I enjoy most about the hobby, which is painting and weathering. So that's that. So I'm going to grab the camera now, and I'm going to give you a quick tour of my man cave. Right guys, so this is the shed, so this is my man cave. So my main workbench is here. This is an old piece of kitchen top on a wooden frame, nice and strong. Cutting mat, A2 cutting mat. This is where I do all my building, painting, everything here. I don't have a specific area for building, a specific area for painting, that sort of thing. This is my part of the entry for my silver screen group build, which will be up on the forum soon. So that's that. Up the top there, pin board, just to get some instructions and stuff off the bench when I'm working. Saves me having to ferret through everything to try and find them. Over here, just to hand some old sanding sticks that are a bit worn out. Good for little jobs. If I'm going to do anything else, I'll get my main sanding stuff out. Going through glues, some Mr. Hobby S, Ambroid Pro Well, some Crystal Clear. There's some other bits and pieces in there, like some of the old Humbrol glues and bits and pieces. Here we got Squadron Green, some home mixes using filler and cellulose thinners, and some Mr. Surface are up there. Varnishes, extra acrylics, gloss and flat, Tamiya gloss and flat, Model Master gloss lacquer, and some Vallejo, that's matte gloss and satin. Up the top, Vallejo's Decal Fix and some Micro Set and Sol, and some liquid mask in the corner. Here all my glues, so some accelerator, some debonder, some odorless super glue, and some normal Zappa Gap. 6, 10, 18mm and 40mm Tamiya tape, used for all my masking. Up the top, some cellulose thinners, Vallejo's 2 sets of Vallejo primer, Vallejo airbrush and thinner, B&Q brush cleaner, metallizer sealer, and some more cellulose thinners up there. Down the bottom, assortment of quite terrible brushes, cocktail sticks, screwdrivers and bits and pieces, some pipettes, pencils and that kind of stuff for marking stuff out, cotton buds, and there's some odds and sods at the back of there. Moving across, well, this is my two airbrushes of choice in the compressor. So we've got the Harder and Steenbeck Evolution 0.2 needle and a BD186, not sure the company, but came with it as a compressor set. 0.3 needle in that, but that can go all the way up to 0.8 with a 13mm cup. That's quite handy. Down the bottom, so spare parts and decal tray. Spare parts are spread out to two drawers now. Down the bottom, just sort of pots, cups, empty pots for mixing things in, making up some plaster of Paris or something if I was doing dioramas and bits and pieces like that. That's sort of overflow of my shelf of doom down the bottom there, and up the top here is all my sort of works in progress, which some are on the forum, some are sort of my own little builds that I'm just doing in the background. Over here are some drawers. This is basically where I keep bits and pieces while I'm working, so it's parts of a figure there, bits and pieces from other models and bits and pieces like that. That's just got elastic bands in, some of the knitting elastic that Phil suggested for World War I rigging, so when I get round to doing a couple of mine. Some of the Tamiya weather insects, these are for the flesh, these are flesh tone ones, which I use for when I'm painting figures. Here, sort of surplus cocktail sticks, set of drills, and some surplus Tamiya tape. Up here are J2O, actually they're all J2O, bottle caps, which I've collected over time. Basically use those for holding super glue and little bits of paint while I'm building, rather than, you know, knocking up a whole pot of it and wasting it. I've also got this little pot thing which I do the same thing for, and in the top of there are pegs. That's that. Basically, well, this actually is an overflow of the stash, this bit's here, but all of that stuff up, that's all my shelf of doom, which I really need to get round to because it's overflowing. Obvious stash goes all the way around there and up there and all the way around there and down there. That's all the stash. Don't sort of have a preference of like companies and a particular theme. I basically collect them because I'm interested in them, or pretty much mostly for me it's if the price is right, I will wait to get something, or I will choose something else that I might not go for before because it's a better price than something I want, if that makes sense. So I've got a mixture, got some old Matchbox stuff, one of the Revel Lynxes, some AFV stuff, Great Wall Hobbies, then one of the new Airfix Harriers, Tamiya F16, the Canberra back there, there's some other bits and pieces, a couple of Airfixes on the big 1/72, so there's the Concorde and the Nimrod, Airfix's 1/24 Harrier, Hobby Boss's Spitfire, some figures up there which I'll get round to hopefully soon. Another, that's Tamiya, Trumpeter's 1/32 P47, Hobby Boss's AN2 Colt, some of my armour which some of these I'm looking forward to. That kit, similar to the Challenger kit that Phil reviewed about a year ago now. Really nice kit that. AFV's Scorpion, there's some modern armour there, so M113, Challenger and AS90. I was going to do that for the support SIG, but doesn't fit with the rules, unfortunately, so I'll be doing that one when I get round to it. Over here, some more 30 seconds. So Edward's 109, Dragon's P51, and Hasagawa's Hellcat. There's some other bits and pieces there, so I generally don't have a preference for anything. I'll grab it if I like it, if that makes sense. Stereo for music while I'm working. Other odds and sods, so I've got metallizers, I've got the flooring models washes, I've got some sort of static grass and bits and pieces like that. I've got some of the AK interactive enamel weathering sets. I've got some odds and sods and bits and pieces. And in here, scratch building stuff. There's plasticard, old bits of photo etch, spare clear parts, and that's about it really. And in here is my tools, so oil paint and bits and pieces like that, needle files, calipers, re-riveters, scribing tools, sanding range, so sanding pads, polishers, polishing set, sanding sticks, sanding sponges, ski range, tools, pea cutters, razor saws, all that, cutters, benders, everything's in that bit. Knives are in here, spare blades and some screwdrivers and other bits and pieces. And then paint store, so predominantly Tamiya and Vallejo. We've got obviously all the black tops of Model Air, white tops of Model Colour. Tamiya, got a range there, and when I run out in here, I've got 2 boxes of Tamiya paint there when we're having a clear out at work. So pretty much that's the stash, and that's the man cave. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you and your work on the forum. Thanks a lot guys, and bye bye.